Okay, so we're here. We made it. Trying to move this. Wow, this thing's being a brat. What's going on here? Nothing's going on here. Okay. You want to get restarted? Bend to taskbar. Close window. Gotta get Epic Pen back together because I have no idea what it was doing there. No. Get out of town. Is that okay? Yeah, that's okay. Just sit here. Sit here. Sit here. Let me try to... It's my... Come on. The heck is this thing doing? I have absolutely no idea. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Oh my lordy. Why is it doing this? Why is it doing that? Okay, I'm at a loss. This thing's stupid. That's pretty much it. Thing is stupid. Stupid thing is stupid. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to be going over a Reinhardt gameplay. Gotta just some things. I am going to be kind of sort of watching Twitch chat. I'll maximize this real quick, and we're gonna have to deal with this guy hanging right here because he's not being nice at the moment, which is not cool. I don't know what's going on there. Okay, so we're gonna be covering Ryan, and let me. It's rated 2150 Reinhardt on Eichenwalde. So we're going to be covering some things with Reinhardt. Later on, we're going to be covering Doomfist, and I think that would be it for today's stream. And then I got to figure out what the heck's going on with everything at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and play it. So yeah, I'm opening it up for questions at the end of the live stream. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and ask questions down below in the comment section. This is going to be uploaded to YouTube, so we're also going to be covering today why I didn't do a Doomfist strat chat as well, because I have the footage that we're about to see, so on Doomfist after this Reinhardt gameplay. These are going to be two separate videos, by the way, so we're going to stop the recording, restart the recording, all that fun jazz. Okay, so we have a single healer, we have two tanks, you have a Zarya, and you have 3 DPS. So currently, 3 DPS isn't very nice on this point, especially if you're running this Deathball comp with the solo healer. And pretty much, since you have the one healer, you know that you can't be over-aggressive. You're not going to have constant support. Otherwise, gauge it on how much the healer is prioritizing you. Technically, the healer should be healing everyone, but it's something you have to keep in the back of your mind that the healer might be just using tanks. And our... Okay, so our soldier went to Moira. That's good. So that means that we are going to be Deathball as Deathball can be. Not sure what the Genji is going to do. Junkrat, kind of sort of like, kind of sort of not. It can work. I like it for certain ideas just because he's pretty good on the map. But overall, attack, offense, not too big of a fan of it. Okay, so a couple things we need to do. I don't know if we have this. Let's see if I can hear it. Trying to see if I can hear it. Okay, you might be able to hear it because my headset wasn't on. Okay. Sorry. So yeah, some things to do as you round that corner. Let me go back to this. Yeah, so you'll say something about what they have. So you know they have a Roadhog, they have an Orisa, they have a Moira because we saw the orb. Okay. So a couple of things. One, the charge ended up not being so good. Number two, charging as Reinhardt's not the best, and this is kind of goes back to a Winston mentality. Winston players can be very aggressive Reinhardts just because they're used to diving, and the Reinhardt doesn't dive. Overall, my suggestion is this kind of thing doesn't go well because there's no universe in which you have this 1 to 2 second time in which you're charging, and that cooldown, the animation cancel, whatever that happens after you hit something. Number one. So you have at least 2 seconds, could be even more, where you can't do anything unless maybe kill the soldier, which isn't happening at the moment. Then you have a couple other problems going on. One, you left your team, so there's no barrier for the team, and your team can push forward. The problem is they have nothing to push behind. Zarya put her bubble on you, and she's probably on a pretty good, decent charge. Not too high because it doesn't charge as fast as you think with Zarya. And so we kind of... Overall, the charge isn't that good, and mainly just because... And I can point this out pretty quickly. So the Genji just went ahead, died by the Roadhog. We can count one other player. Everyone else we can't see. And so that's a big problem. And it kind of comes down to, if you're going to make a move, make sure you know what your team's doing, and also do a countdown. That's a good thing for Winston as well, is making that countdown. So instead of doing okay, I'm going to charge in and charge, you say I'm going to charge in 3, 2, 1, then charge. Even then, Reinhardt charging isn't good. I wouldn't suggest charging with Reinhardt. Winston, yeah. But Reinhardt, what the heck? Reinhardt, no. We back into the corner, and there's no way we're surviving this. This is the thing as well, is if you know you're going to die, just die. Die in a blaze of glory. Don't try to delay yourself. That's a bad habit. Okay, again. So one thing is we try to immediately go back in to the fight in which we're going to die again. What we needed to do is we needed to pull back closer to our spawn and try to pick up the Genji that was coming back. Even if you didn't notice the Genji, it's good. Yep, rounded around that corner. Now you see you're on your side of the team. Flanking Reinhardts never do well, even if the Earth Shatter comes into play. So it's just not good. And then we're just swinging hammer, being DPS heart. Something to remember is you can do an animation cancel. Ooh, standing on the trip mines. You can... Not good to stand on those. So you can do an animation cancel with your hammer. Basically, if you do it once you get hit markers. So you can stop the swing altogether. So if you're swinging at someone, you can swing immediately as you see the hit markers. Press E, and it'll stop the end of your swing. Or swing and shield, swing and shield. Okay, and I hear you mention the cheeky little flank. Flanking with Reinhardt, again, not good. And so that's something that I'm noticing here. And this is just honesty. And I'm going to be brutally honest here. Going to be nice about it, but brutally honest. We're not with our team. We're playing the wrong hero. That's pretty much it. So you're playing a hero, but you're playing the wrong hero. And a tank is meant to protect the team. So think of yourself as a support that doesn't heal. I'm kind of sort of okay with that for style points. Higher up, they can turn around and sleep dart you or something like that because you have the time in which your Earth Shatter. So basically, if this is on the ground And let's say here's the wall that you just jumped from. So you are here. So you jump down from here, you have this time in which you hit the ground. Now this is stuff that probably seems like, duh, yeah, I know. But it's just something good to hear again. And I can explain to you a lot more of why some of this stuff happens. Whereas if you're on the ground, all you have to do is this swing. So it's a lot faster. You can get it done a lot more. Even though it's a split second, is a pretty decent amount of time in Overwatch. You can still get slept. At this ranking, yeah, you can do that. You might have a tiny risk, not too bad, but it's for style points. I can understand the style points, but higher up, if you want to win a game, this is not the way to do it. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying you got to know what you're doing before you do it. Other thing is, woo! Would have been nice to have a Reinhardt shield. That's the thing. And this is something that I talked to someone a while ago about Reinhardt, is when you're playing people hate playing a passive Reinhardt most of the times, and it's because you don't feel like you're doing anything. Really, you're preventing this. Because this is just a little thing on the screen, whereas this whole Earth Shatter feels amazing to you. And even though you're probably getting good kill stats and all that stuff, it's overall better for the team to actually be there to protect them. It's kind of like that whole cinematic. And again, you die. So that's the thing as well, is we're flanking, and put aside the whole thing if you have 500 hit points plus I think like 150 armor or something like that. Put aside that, Overwatch isn't about hit points, it's about hit boxes. So that's why people don't traditionally like Orisa, is because she's a big square hitbox. Reason why Zenyatta's get dived a lot is they're a square hitbox. People like Widowmaker is a small hitbox. People like Tracer is a small hitbox. And so basically the game's based off of hitbox. People are more likely to miss a shot than to not do damage to you. So when they hit you, they're doing more damage most of the time, especially at lower ranks. The bigger you are, literally the harder you fall. Smaller characters start having harder of a time at higher ranks, just because people are able to hit them more with the same amount of damage. Okay, so a couple of things is, and this is just to make sure, is we need to start strategizing. So we're kind of, these guys are kind of talking in the side. Maybe say some stuff like, hey, can we get some scouting up above? Just to get that high ground taken care of. This is personally where I would like a Winston, because you can get onto that high ground. The first point, you can do a rush down or a death ball kind of comp. I kind of like dive on the first 2 points. Third point, you don't have to, but yeah. I like him on the first 2 points. But this is competitive solo, so it's a thing. You have a guy right here, so I believe that's a Pharah. Yeah, it's a Pharah. So Pharah's on the high ground. Yep. So Pharah's up above. We have a Reinhardt here. Now, Roadhog. So we have a Roadhog here. This is where, and we have a Pharah here, and we have this poor Genji on this ledge. We have an Orisa here. Okay, so let me explain something. This is big red flags. So the reason why it's a red flag is, and this is something I talked about on one of the strat chats, is pressure. So pressure is created based off of killing potential. And Reinhardt's barrier basically removes killing potential behind him. Not completely. There is some things that can go through the barrier, which changes that. But let's look at the pressure that we create. So if anyone lands on this ledge, we can hit them with a hammer. Right here, since the Roadhog's standing here, we create a very decent high value pressure with our Fire Strike. We don't have it. Orisa, same thing. She's slow moving. We create a high pressure, and we can throw a fire strike through shields. We create a high pressure there. We create a very low pressure against Safara, and the reason why it's a low pressure is because she has all of this to fly around. So that means that we would have to hit a fire strike, which is a slow moving thing, slow moving projectile. We would have to hit her in the sky. So basically, we are creating a pressure, but the pressure's so small, it's not worth it. So which one is better of these two? Well, honestly, at the moment, this Roadhog needs to have pressure created on him. Because pressure created is pressure you take away. Now here's the bigger problem. We have little Orisa, little Roadhog, little Farah, who all three have something to pull people into this pit. So they are creating a high amount of pressure into this pit. Now, what we need to do is we need to step forward and just try to get the shield. Because likelihood is this Farah is going to throw something behind us. If she's good, and throw her concussion blast, knock us into the pit. And if we have our shield out, we create, we can block that, and it just hits us in the front. Likewise, this Genji's probably going to start dancing in front of us if he's an idiot, or stepping back if he is smart, because this Roadhog is clearly positioning himself to hook this Genji. It's a duh. He's pulling out as far as he can to this ledge, and he's going to kill someone. He's wanting to. Let's see. So the Genji popped back, and the Roadhog, I think, just pulled back. Yeah. So this is the thing as well, and this is people at lower rank, in a nutshell, they'll stand in front of barriers. Just remind everyone in chat, hey, get behind my barrier. There you go. That's the pressure. So Roadhog was trying to create that pressure on that ledge, and he was really close to killing you. Another thing is Orisa is going to be doing a ton of damage in front of us, and we're not going to out-damage her that fast. We could try, especially with everyone behind us. So that's, yeah, we just dropped that. Okay, so this is another thing. We have this fire strike. So we swing until we connect right here. The moment we see that little click hit marker, we hit E, cancels the rest of the animation, which goes across like we are right now. It cancels that animation, and it fire strikes into them. And fire strikes hits multiple people, can do a ton of damage. So that's just being able to do that faster. I'm okay with that precautionary fire strike. I'm okay with that. Now we have fire strike again. And I like standing right here, because the problem is if we start moving into here and they have a Junkrat, or they continue to have the Farah, they can start hitting in, and we can't protect the people to our side. So that's that. Nice job. Nice job on hitting the fire strike. Let's see. Okay. So I like this aggressive positioning, and mainly because this corner is usually highly contested. So if we can push the cart to this corner, and we can create space to get that cart into that corner, around that corner, the better. Okay, so this is something that's a good note. So once you hit 500 health on your barrier, say something. If it's going down fast, so say something at 1,000. Say like, hey, hit point at 1,000, dropping down fast. Or just barrier 500 and stuff like that. Just say something about what's going on with your barrier, and never let it drop to 0. Because when you let it drop to 0, you don't have it until it recharges back. If you have a little bit, you can still stop stuff like basically absolute instant pressure stuff, so like Diva Bomb and stuff like that. You can still stop it with 10 hit points of barrier. Okay, and then you'll say like, oh, stopping, dropping, and this is where we need to start pulling back, because 100, boom, We have 100. That's nice conservation. Don't stay in front. Don't pull it back up. Don't push. So the reason why we don't want to push here, and I was kind of being kind of a meanie there saying that. Sorry about that. So the reason why we don't want to push here is because we need to keep track of what's going on with our barrier. If we're pushing this aggressively, we want all. Since we are in the front and we round this corner, there's likelihood we're not going to get support coming around this corner. And we're going to die. As you see, okay, we just started getting healing. So we weren't getting healing until we used Earth Shatter. Let's go back to that Earth Shatter. See what... So I think you're actually successful with an animation cancel. Because you can animation cancel with the Earth Shatter as well. And shield, yeah. So we got swing over here, Earth Shattered. So that's a cool animation cancel. Otherwise, the Earth Shatter actually takes longer to land. So you can get an extra swing in before you land. So that was pretty decent. Now we're kind of stuck in a hole, and that's because we were a little too aggressive. That's the thing, is stay back with your team. Don't be as aggressive. Just a practice. Good ways to not play as aggressively is play a little more Orisa. And it sounds kind of weird. A lot of my advice usually comes to play a different character to learn how to play another character correctly. And mainly because Orisa is only passive. There's no pushing into a team to hit them with a melee. It's never going to happen. Okay, so you're saying that the soldier solo. This is where we say, hey, soldier is soldier 1 on right. Just say stuff like that. Right hallway, soldier 1. And that's where they'll go. And then we're going flank hard again. So that's the thing, is no flanking. Flanking's bad. If you're a flanking tank, it's bad. That's why they nerfed Roadhog, is because he became a flanking tank. And that's not what tanks are supposed to do. So right now your team's kind of in a bit of a jam. This is, again, just that whole thing of keep track of what you're shielding. That's the thing as well. Because there's been points that I've been playing and no one uses my shield. And so I'm like, it's not even worth playing a shield. Luckily, your Zarya's using it, your Moira's using it, and I believe your Junkrat and Mercy are. Genji, not so much, which is a thing. So this is another thing as well. Pressure. Let me move this back. Okay. Nice job. You said barrier down. I believe it got a little too close, though. It might have gotten a little too close. How far did it go? Yeah, so you got it to 0. That's the thing. Just keep more track of that. Don't use it all at once. You don't want your barrier to get shot. That's a big thing. You don't want your barrier to get shot, but you want the people behind you to not get shot. A couple things to keep track of. There's a guy right here. Yep. That kind of looked like the Mercy, if I was right. I'm not sure. Okay. So we're getting a ton of healing. That's good. So the reason why I talk about pressure is, so we're standing here. If they turn and look at us, we can only move here. We're pretty much that size. So we're guaranteed to get shot walking down this area. We have no ult to capitalize on. And so that's why pushing down here is not the best thing in the world. Even though we want to get something done, it's just the nature of Reinhardt. And then again, we can only get shot here. And we're really, really close. No one's behind us at the moment. We're just kind of getting support. So we have this whole freak out thing. We end up here, which is fun. And this is when we should just back up the way we came. What happens is, though, is that I believe, and I don't know if I went too far back. I might have went too far back. But it was basically when we went across the front of the cart, all that time we had huge amount of pressure on us, and that's why we were getting shot in the back. I think I might have went too far back. Or too far forward. Can't remember. Yeah, and that's, guys, reset, restart, pull back. You lost Mercy, you lost Ryan, you lost Zarya, Junk. Don't worry about it. Cut your losses. Reestablish. The number one thing, though, is when you're reestablishing, don't poke. And that's the thing that people have a problem with, is poking. Understand what your team's playing. If they're playing a Junkrat, you can get shot. If they're playing Reinhardt, you're going to get shot. If they're playing Fair, you're going to get shot. And basically, you want to not be under that death potential, where if they're all shooting you, you're going to die. And again, we have no one behind us. We don't need the shield. We can just take the damage to our face and call it good. Because also the D.Va was shooting at us, and that was really the only thing. Yeah, I can kind of understand that. Yeah, I'm kind of okay with that shatter. It's just... would have been nice to have a bigger shatter, but honestly, shatters come so quick. And then Orisa just cleans house. Okay, we got to switch to D.Va. I like the communication. I really do. Okay. So here's the thing with peeking again. They have their soldier. That's what's interesting. Is the soldier's peeking a little too much. And he's going this way. We don't need to meet him here. We need to meet him here. Because we want to make it terrible for him to get back to his team. So that's the beauty of Reinhardt, and he kind of gets away. So it's okay. The beauty of Reinhardt is you create a low pressure zone behind you. Because D.Va's not getting shot. She's behind the barrier. So what you want to do is you want to position yourself so that you change what the other team's doing. Now, if they had a Reinhardt, what you would want to be doing is playing a Reinhardt v Reinhardt duel, where it's a big mind game, where you're trying to charge your ultimates and trying to stop the other Reinhardt, and the one Reinhardt that loses its barrier first loses all the time. So we're kind of doing a similar thing with the Orisa. The problem is, and you can see there, so the Orisa lost her shield, and so we start pushing in. That's good instincts. I like that. She has her barrier come back up. We're losing our barrier fast. And that's because they're running with a soldier Orisa duo with the D.Va just blowing through. And our D.Va's not really stopping much of that damage. So we're having a problem getting into positions. And you can see we want to be in the position to do damage. And I think this is... Yeah, I would have... Personally, I would have ended up going for that charge too. Wasn't exactly needed, but yeah. And I like that barrier usage there. Yep. Okay, so you see we're slightly winning this fight at the moment. Well, we're starting to have problems now. And the Orisa's just like dancing around. Okay, she just put down the barrier. So this is the thing is perfect. Okay. So this is the thing as well as you need to count and wait for the barrier to just drop. Because the thing is a Reinhardt can block a Earth Shatter because he can move around his barrier. To counter an Orisa, what you want to do is you want to wait for her to use her barrier, and then you use it immediately afterwards. Sadly, we don't get the Orisa, and the Orisa just, oh my god. Yeah, so you just get destroyed by this Orisa. I feel bad. Just because of stupid things. She steps back at the right time and everything. We get backed into a corner with a soldier pointing straight at us. That's again the reason why we were getting shot so easily, was because we were directly across from him. He can only shoot through that hallway, and that's how we got shot. A lot of stuff that, when you think about it, makes total sense. Where you're like, yeah, I know why I died was because I got shot. Just a lot of the times think of it a little more why you got shot. I'm going to go ahead and look and see if we have anything in the chat. Nope, nothing. Yeah, so luckily Reinhardt does a little bit better on defense, which is cool. Reinhardt I want to listen to this. Okay, I like this for the Bastion because a lot of people, especially at low levels, have no idea how to deal with a Bastion when there's a shield next to it. You think that the whole pirate ship Bastion on a cart meta for the Junker Town is a bad thing. Think about it. The pros don't even know how to deal with it. When you put a Bastion with a shield, pretty much double shield next to anyone, that's where a problem lies. Another thing I like to do as a Bastion, well, with a Bastion, not as a Bastion, I usually don't play the Bastion, is I will tell the Bastion to move. So we'll start the Bastion in a position, we'll adjust the Bastion. So I kind of like this footage, just because now we get to talk about how you deal with double barriers and how you use your shield. Main thing is you're the second shield. And I know you have more hit points on your shield than Orisa, but Orisa's shield comes back faster, and over time will have more actual hit points of uptime. I kind of like that Earth Shatter a little bit. Maybe just practice on timing on that guy. They just come immediately around, and we just charge. That's the thing. We charged, team's gone, and yeah. That's the thing as well as we have an umbilical cord with our Mercy. So let's back that one up. So that's the thing as well. As I was saying, like, oh, it's well timed. They're not there, 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 they're right there. This is where we should say, hey, they're coming around left hallway. I believe we have a Junkrat. Do we have a Junkrat? Did we have a Junkrat? I'm trying to look and see if we had a Junkrat. Trying to look at the loading screen. No, we did not have a Junkrat. Okay, we had a soldier and we have a Bastion. So this is something we don't need to charge. And if we do need to charge, we need to charge and hit the wall. So we would want to charge right here, even though there's no one here. If we wanted to charge, we would want to charge and hit the wall, because the moment we actually set foot inside that, we create a super amount of pressure that will just kill us. Boom. We should have died immediately. That's how much pressure there was. All those characters in there, we should have died pretty much immediately. And then we pretty much do. So honestly, at higher levels, you would have died faster. That's the thing. So remember that. If you put yourself in a position where you could die, you're going to die faster the higher level you are at. So that's why there's some times where the Bastion's not going to die, is because he gets put into positions where he's going to, but it just doesn't happen. So it's a big thing as well. We lost a soldier on the high ground. That's a thing. Soldier's dead on the high ground to what? In Orisa. Watch the high ground. There we go. The Bastion's shooting something up on the high ground. There's something on the high ground. And I bet whoever it is going to start touching the point pretty soon, because that's it. So, yeah, that's the thing. As well as I say, and this is something that's kind of hard to... You have to know theoretically and actually do the math, which... I did a lot of math with Orisa stuff. You want the Orisa barrier first, your barrier second. You bring up your barrier if the other barrier drops. And basically, you just wait for her barrier to drop. You pull up yours, you have 2,000. Don't share, because she's going to constantly be replacing her barrier, even if it's not completely drained. A lot of the times. You're at 200? Yeah, see... That's the thing, is the Orisa couldn't get her shield back up, and you needed that 2,000, and that's where it could have been used. Basically, this is when the Rein can just stand around, throw fire strikes, maybe peek the corner or something. I don't care. You could even put yourself right here. I honestly don't care. Just ask for the Orisa to give notice when her shield drops, and you can just jump, place down shield. Life's good. Because sometimes they'll wait for that shield to break, and then they'll push, and you'll be there, be like, haha, 2,000 hit points suck. Yes. So yeah, you're starting to do what I actually said. That's great. That's great. I like that. Yep. Because you see the Orisa started to poke. She's starting to come out. And I think our Orisa just put down another barrier, and that's where she... Yeah, you can see they're starting to go. Okay. Rule number 1. You're not going to win this against the Orisa. Don't go for the Orisa. Mainly because she's got barriers. She's got people in the room. You're creating a big amount of pressure on yourself. That, and she has Fortify, which basically gives her 1,600 hit points for 4 seconds. That can be healed by 4 times because she takes 4 times less damage. You're not going to win that fight. And I think that was on the Ana trying to think you're going to win the fight and you feel like you have to do something. Luckily, you're able to just nick down that other Orisa enough that the Bastion could finish her off. The other thing as well is you're a distraction. So see, barrier down, your barrier up. Okay, barrier down. Wait for you. Barrier up. Barrier up. Okay, now they're playing a symmetric because the symmetric can go straight through barriers. Okay, you have your barrier up, barrier down. Nice job. So this is where you need to adjust the Bastion. Adjust the Bastion maybe there or something like that. Okay, you have your barrier up. Now, I don't know why you round around the front. I think it was because you're trying to find something to do. That's the thing is people, when they're playing Reinhardt and all they can do is put up a barrier, don't really know what to do with themselves if they can't hit something. Just because, and I'll be honest, holding a barrier is really boring. And I completely understand. It's just something that we have to understand is a thing that we need to do. That's the problem. Yeah, that's cute. If that happens, you put up your barrier. They don't get ult charge on barrier, and you just back up. Sadly, we were the ones that would have to hit that barrier. And, oh, goody! Back out of that. That's something that's not good. And yeah, so they were able to put a teleporter around the side, and that just comes down to your team. And this is the thing that's kind of interesting about Reinhardt is you need to put yourself in a position to get supported. That's where the umbilical cord is, and that's when you can make an aggressive play. Don't make aggressive plays unless you have that support. That was on the edge. That was a nice rotate on there, just to get that little clip. And boo on them for not stepping forward a little bit to get shielded from the barrier. Yeah. Okay. Nice job for calling for setup on top. Let me hear it a little better. Yep, right there. Okay, yep. I kind of like the Orisa on the low ground, so I like this call. Yeah, just call for D.Va on high ground. D.Va Junkrat on high ground. That's a bad D.Va bomb. Sadly enough, you could have let the Orisa barrier take it. Actually, you know what? I'm okay with us taking it just because we're not going to use it for a while the Orisa barrier's up. We can recharge it. We don't need the barrier up. That's the thing is there's a weird interaction that people aren't used to with the Orisa and Rein. Oh, she was peeking in front of the barrier. That's the thing. Be behind the barrier. Boom! Absolute pressure. Orisa off the cliff. That's what I told you. There's a pressure that's created, and it takes you off the cliff. Yeesh. Okay, we could have actually Fire Strike that. Fire Strike, step forward, swing the hammer, turned around, charged out, not charge in. I'm not a big fan of charging in. I like charging out. Which is a weird thing to say. Okay. Yeah, they're calling for Bastion to switch because they're now starting to counter Bastion. I like just swinging a hammer. Swing a hammer. That's good. And the thing is everyone's around the cart. You had no one behind you. There was no reason why you had the shield. That was a good call. That's why everyone died. For this because you didn't need the shield. They were on the cart. They had to stay on the cart. You killed them. That was pretty much what happened. Okay, so this is where we need to kind of set up a position, maybe work with the Orisa a little more, getting that communication. I like how we're trying to block. The jump to block. Yeah, and getting on. Okay, a lot of people just died behind. Yep. Barrier, barrier, barrier. Oh! Yeah. Yep. So, this is something that's kind of interesting. A diva is more likely to throw over your head or on your head than too close to you. So, when she throws it, start walking towards it. Turn around and shield. It's a pretty decent thing. Or depending on, shield your allies first before you turn around. But it's more likely to go over your head. That's just a little cool thing. Higher levels, it should go over your head because they're wanting you to turn around. So that's just a thing to know. Just start stepping backwards or something like that. Just know it's more likely to go over your head. Wherever you take it, honestly, is up to you. Yep, nice job. We didn't need to kill anyone. We just needed to create space so that we can set up. That's the thing. It wasn't about killing anyone. It was about forcing them to reset. Their diva's not maxed, so that's a good thing. Wait for her to drop her next barrier. Boom, okay. Step in front. Yeah, no. That's a good job. Thank you for that call, I was about to say. Oh! Okay. So that was a little bit too much excitement. A good thing to do, and this is a good thing for your Fire Strike and your Earth Shatter, is you want to track who you want to hit. So let's say we're going to Fire Strike Soldier. We're going to track him starting here. And as we use E, we're going to track him across, overcorrect, and then adjust. So this is just a muscle memory thing that you do. It's a little flick at the end. And so with Earth Shatter, what we need to do is we need to flick and flick back in. That's a thing to remember, because as you're going, you'll know if you need to stop. So you then correct back. And there's a good enough time that you can there's a timer button almost. It's like a time bomb. You can set up everything before you go. And then again, we're a little too far forward. Our team pulled back, but not with us. And that Mercy pretty much was going to kill you again. Your Mercy was going to kill you a second time, just because she rezzed you in that team. Yeah, we don't need to... There you go. She was going to throw it behind you, but the problem is it hit a wall. That's easy for you to block. All you need to do is block. All you need to do is block. Ready? Yep. So this is another thing as well, is don't charge after Earth Shattering unless you need to kill one person. If you need to kill one person, then charge. But if there's people behind them, you're going to get shot. Yeah, and we started getting shot a lot after that charge. So yeah, only charge into the team if you only need to kill one person. So I'm adjusting my rule. And that's just for that. Ugh, no. Okay. So, let's see if we have any questions. This is a time where people can put questions in the chat. Pretty much ask any questions about Reinhardt, anything about Reinhardt, anything about other characters as well. I'll give a couple minutes and we can continue. And I'll also try to think of other things I can talk about as well. If not, we can go ahead and move over to the Doomfist gameplay. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to this so that I can get everything set up. Anything else about Reinhardt? I imagine not. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, put them down below in the comment section. I will be doing more Q&A stuff after the Doomfist one. Doomfist one's going to be pretty fast, so I'm just going to do that one, and then we'll do more Q&A. So feel free to ask any questions, but I'll stop recording on this. So everyone, see ya, and let's start the next video.